The Denver Broncos defense got picked apart by Jimmy Garoppolo and the Raiders in week 1. This was a game where the Denver Broncos defense took a significant step in the wrong direction. It seems like no matter what Denver did defensively, Las Vegas had the answers for it. Denver blitzed left and right. Vance Joseph brought a lot of pressure, but Vegas was able to counter it with the right protection on almost every time. And they were also able to counter those blitzes with quick throws over the middle and to the outside. It was a really, really great day from Jimmy Garoppolo in terms of standing in and beating the blitz for the Denver Broncos. And the Broncos, despite sending extra guys, got virtually no pass rush in this game. And aside from the struggles on the defensive line, the Denver Broncos had some issues in the secondary as well. Pat Surtain actually had a really great day taking away Davante Adams, but it was all washed out by Damari Mathis really struggling to go against Raiders' number 2 wide receiver, Jakobi Meyers. It was a horrible day at the office for Damari Mathis. And between our struggles up front and our struggles in the secondary with Mathis, that is the main reason why we lost this game, aside from, of course, Will Lutz missing the field goal and the extra point to cost us 4 points in this game. But without further ado, guys, let's just go ahead and get into the film and talk about some of the struggles that the Denver Broncos had against the Las Vegas Raiders offense. So with Josh McDaniels' offense, it is very predicated on pre-snap reads and pre-snap motions to try to get the defense to declare what their coverage is, and then the quarterback can make adjustments after that. So this is going to be a perfect example of it here, where the Raiders are going to bring Jakobi Meyers in motion here on 3rd down and 7 to the right side of the field. He motions from the slot. And Jimmy Garoppolo makes a check at the line here to slide the protection. Now, Jimmy knows that on 3rd down, the Broncos' best pass rusher is Randy Gregory off the edge. So he's going to slide the protection to the right side to pick up Randy Gregory. This is a great job right here from Jimmy Garoppolo, knowing where the pressure is going to come from and adjusting accordingly. So you see right here, Jimmy takes the snap, and initially the right guard right here is going to appear to double team Jonathan Harris, but later in the progression, you see Jimmy has all the time in the world to go through his reads. One-on-one, Zach Allen is losing his rep right here to the left guard, and then Frank Clark, he's trying to spin out of this move from the left tackle Colton Miller, but Miller's not buying it whatsoever. This is really great pass protection by the Las Vegas Raiders. You can see at this point, Gregory's getting double teamed, and Andre James, he's handling Jonathan Harris with relative ease. This is terrible pass rush by the Denver Broncos. Jimmy Garoppolo has all the time in the world to go through his reads. He wants to eventually come to the flat right here, but it's covered by Alex Singleton on 3rd down. But what Jimmy eventually sees is, look at all this green grass right here in front of him. He can leak out the back door right here and pick up a 1st down with his legs. And right there, Jonathan Harris tries to tackle him, but absolutely fails. Frank Clark gets him. And then Justin Simmons, this is unnecessary. He comes in late. Frank Clark already has Jimmy Garoppolo wrapped up. Now, I understand this is a bang-bang play right here from Simmons, but you can't lead with the crown of your helmet like he did. That's going to get called 10 times out of 10. Jimmy Garoppolo shaken up on that play. Thankfully, he was all right after that. But this is just a really poor play by the Broncos' front 7, not being able to generate any pressure whatsoever on Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, look at this. He's got time to set up a campsite back there and eventually sees that wide open green grass. That's just too easy for Jimmy Garoppolo. He's going to take that, and he's not the most mobile quarterback in the world, but credit to him, extends and kind of puts his body out on the line right there. And then with Simmons, I know some will say that's not a penalty, but referees are going to call that 10 times out of 10. That's definitely a penalty. This is going to be the first touchdown of the game for the Raiders, and this is one of many plays where Jakobi Meyers gave Damari Mathis fits. He's going to be matched up right here with him one-on-one on the bottom of the screen. Now, he's going to be running a goal line fade here, but with the route that Meyers runs, you see at this point, he's kind of showing a little bit of a step that he's going to break to the inside. It's a pretty decent job for the most part by Damari Mathis staying disciplined. Now, he knows that if Myers were to break inside, he's got some help right here from Alex Singleton, and he's got safety help over the top. But if Myers were to break to the outside and go upfield on the fade right here, he's got no help. It's going to be mano-a-mano and basically on an island right there for Damari Mathis. And that's exactly what happens. And right here, Mathis is in a very vulnerable position for a back shoulder goal line fade. Up front for the Denver Broncos, the pass rush has no time to get any penetration. The ball's already out of Jimmy Garoppolo's hands. And this is just a perfectly timed back shoulder fade right here from Jimmy Garoppolo to Jakobi Meyers. And for Damari Mathis, that's just a tough play that's really, really hard to defend. A perfect throw and a perfect catch are sometimes a lot harder to defend than good coverage. And it's not bad coverage at all there by Damari Mathis. But again, that's just a perfectly timed throw between Jimmy Garoppolo and Jakobi Meyers. And you can tell that this is something they had been working on for quite a while, because Jakobi Meyers turns his shoulder the exact moment that the ball gets there. That's perfect timing on that back shoulder fade. But that's just a tough play right there for Damari Mathis, where there's not really a whole lot you can do in that situation. It's tough. This was one of many plays where Jakobi Meyers just kind of took Damari Mathis to school, and this one results in the Raiders going up by 7 points on their opening drive. It was an extended drive that took 5.5 minutes off the clock and results in 7 points for the Raiders on this beautifully timed back shoulder fade to Jakobi Meyers. So this is going to be one where it's all kinds of bad for the Denver Broncos, and this is also going to be one where Jimmy Garoppolo does a really good job of getting the Raiders in the right play based on what Denver is doing defensively. So you'll see right here, the Raiders are using a silent snap count. So Jimmy Garoppolo will lift his leg right there, and then the center will do a little head bob. This is a dummy snap count. So it would be the same thing as if at home they went, White 80 said, hot! 54 is the mic, can, alert, alert. White 80, White's hot. That would be the exact same thing right there with that dummy snap count. What you're trying to do is get the defense to declare what they are doing so you can make adjustments pre-snap. And that's exactly what is going to happen here. You see that dummy snap count gets Denver to show their coverage. Essane Bassey is going to be firing off the edge, and then K-Jack is going to be coming down here to cover Hunter Renfrow out of the slot. So now Jimmy Garoppolo knows what Denver's defensive play call is, and so he's going to come up here, tap his helmet, alert. He's changing the play. You saw Tom Brady do that all those years in New England in this exact same scheme. Identifies the Mike linebacker to direct the protection, because once you identify the Mike linebacker, that tells everybody else who to block. That's why you'll always hear teams saying 54 is the Mike, 49 is the Mike, 47 is the Mike, so on and so forth. It helps direct the protection. So you see here, Jimmy Garoppolo now takes the snap. And despite this pressure from Denver, it's still completely failing to get home. That's a great job by Josh Jacobs right there in pass protection. So with Jimmy Garoppolo, he knows that with the blitz, he's going to have a one-on-one matchup on the outside, Damari Mathis versus Jakobi Meyers. And he figures Damari Mathis had some trouble with Jakobi Meyers on a back shoulder fade previously. Why not try it again? And with Zach Allen right there in his face, Jimmy Garoppolo launches a beautifully timed back shoulder ball. Again, that's just so hard to defend if you're Damari Mathis. You kind of hope maybe he's in a better position than that, but still, that's just so hard to defend. A perfectly timed throw and catch like that. And the Raiders end up picking up a first down right there. But that was just all kinds of bad from Denver, not being able to generate virtually any pressure on that one. But a great job by Jimmy Garoppolo identifying where the pressure was coming from and then delivering an accurate ball to Jakobi Meyers on the back shoulder fade. That's just really high-end stuff, honestly, from Jimmy Garoppolo. And then this is one on 3rd down and 12, man. You just cannot give this up if you're the Denver Broncos. So they're showing double A-gap pressure here up front, so two linebackers clogging both A-gaps with Josie Jewell and Alex Singleton right here. And what they're going to do is they're going to run Davante Adams, the Raiders are, on this in-breaking route. Denver is bracket covering him, basically a double team with Pat Surtain and Justin Simmons, two of your best secondary defenders. They do not want this to be a completion here to Adams. So up front, they're showing this A-gap pressure, but they're going to actually back out of it into a zone coverage look, and they're going to run a stunt up front. So right here, there's going to be a penetration, I believe, from Zach Allen for Frank Clark to loop back inside. And the same thing on the other side here, penetration from Jonathan Harris for Randy Gregory to loop back inside. But Jimmy Garoppolo, you can see here, the Raiders pick it up relatively well. Frank Clark, by the time he zips in there, the ball's already going to be gone. On the other side right here, it's absolutely well picked up. Randy Gregory getting completely washed out on this stunt right here. Jimmy has the exact amount of time that he needs to deliver a strike with Frank Clark in his face. Tan takes a little bit of a wide angle here because he knows that he's got safety help over the top from Justin Simmons, but that's just such a good throw by Jimmy Garoppolo. By the time Justin crashes in there, the ball's already where it needs to be. I mean, you definitely would maybe hope Denver could play a little bit tighter coverage, but at the same time, you don't want to blow your zone assignment either. Their assignment there is to play a little bit off, and before Simmons can crash in there, you'd maybe hope play if you're Denver defensively, and it's a well-timed play call offensively for the Raiders. But the hope is that your pressure gets home up front, so that way you don't have to depend on your secondary to hold up in these situations. Unfortunately, our pressure completely fails to get home with that stunt. It seemed like no matter what Vance Joseph did to try to get pressure on Jimmy Garoppolo, they had answers for it, and they were ready for it, and that was a big problem. This was a clear example of Vance Joseph getting out-coached by Josh McDaniels. That was clearly what happened in this game. So this is another one right here. The dummy snap count is going to get Denver to declare what their defense is. Jimmy Garoppolo lifts his leg. Alex Singleton's going to show blitz right here. They're going to drop Nick Bonito back into coverage on this play, and they're going to fire with Alex Singleton. Jimmy Garoppolo knows that, so he directs the pressure to the left, or he directs the protection to the left, I should say. And they're basically going to be triple teaming Zach Allen on this play. Josh Jacobs is going to come in to take out Alex Singleton on this one. And it's going to be one-on-one right here with Jonathan Cooper on the left tackle, Colton Miller. So up front right here, you see that Jonathan Cooper is beating Colton Miller, but Josh Jacobs is going to completely annihilate Alex Singleton on this one, who's blitzing. The hope here is that Alex Singleton would have a free rush on Garoppolo, but this is just absolutely fantastic pass protection by Josh Jacobs right there. And Jonathan Cooper, you'd really like him to finish that play, but Jimmy Garoppolo crouches down low before Jonathan Cooper can come in and finish that sack. That's just a tough rep. You want Jonathan Cooper to be able to finish on that one. You've beaten Colton Miller. Just finish the play. And Zach Allen, he's getting completely washed out by this triple team. Josh Jacobs completely annihilating Alex Singleton right there. Horrible rush by the Denver Broncos. Great pass protection by the Raiders. Jimmy able to get out of it and find Davante Adams on the sideline off of a scramble drill working against Damari Mathis. Not great if you're the Denver Broncos up front right there. That is a rep where the Raiders kicked your ass in the trenches. Come on, Jonathan. You're right there. Just finish the play. Instead, Jimmy is Houdini, looking like freaking Patrick Mahomes out there, gets out of the pocket and finds Davante Adams on the sideline. That is just elite. And with Davante Adams, he was used to doing that kind of stuff with Aaron Rodgers for all that time in Green Bay. So you know this kind of scramble drill mentality comes natural to him. Great job by Davante getting open. But again, Denver got their ass kicked up front on that rep. We got another one here, man, where Vance Joseph trying to bring some pressure here. Essane Bassi with the nickel pressure. But Denver just cannot get home on these. Look at this right here. You could definitely argue that's a little bit of a hold on Frank Clark right there by the right tackle. But he's getting washed out. Zach Allen's getting double teamed. I don't know what the hell's going on up here with Mike Purcell and freaking John Harris. They're like basically bear hugging each other almost. And then you see Jimmy Garoppolo, he's got a free flyer in his face. That is the design of this blitz. So technically, the blitz did do what it was accomplished to do and get a free rusher in Jimmy's face. But Jimmy has the perfect answer for it. He stands in, knows he's going to take a hit, and delivers a perfect throw one-on-one on an in-breaker, like a little deep over or something like that. Jacoby Myers right there matched up on, you guessed it, Damari Mathis. Jimmy hangs in, delivers a strike, and on top of that, Usain Bassey hits him late, and the referees get him for a 15-yard personal foul roughing the passer penalty, and so that added on an additional 15 after this. So this is another one where no matter what Denver tried to do to scheme pressure, Vegas just had all the answers for it. Can't have that. You just can't. That's embarrassing. So this is another one where pre-snap, Denver Broncos are going to give a little bit of tell on what defense they're going to be in. So the Raiders motion Josh Jacobs out of the backfield right here, and Damari Mathis goes and follows him. So that tells Jimmy Garoppolo that this is most likely some sort of zone coverage look. And since we got a single high safety right here with Justin Simmons, that probably means it's cover 3. We can't see the back end. We don't have the all 22 yet. But I am thinking it's going to be cover 3 because one way you can beat cover 3 is down the seam. And they're going to have Austin Hooper, the tight end, streaking down the seam here. And Jimmy Garoppolo, you can see Denver up front's finally going to get a little bit of pressure. Zach Allen's going to beat 66 to the inside right here, but Jimmy just hangs in, knows he's most likely going to either take a hit or possibly take a hit, and delivers right up the seam. Now, Justin Simmons, you can see right here, he knows this is coming all the way. He's reading it. He's thinking that at bare minimum, he's going to have a PBU. At best, he's going to have a pick right here. So Simmons is crashing in on this, but Austin Hooper just out-physicals him. And the ball does hit the ground, but it doesn't bobble. That's definitely a little questionable, but it did pass through the replay review because the ball didn't move. I remember they explained this on the broadcast. Looking at it from that angle, it definitely looks like the ball hit the ground and that it did move a little bit. So I don't know about that one. That could have probably gone down as an incomplete pass, but it was a good job by Hooper there. Kind of out-physicaling Simmons and hanging on to it. That's questionable, though, when you look at it on second glance. It definitely is. Second and goal here, we've got Damari Mathis, Jacoby Myers, top of the screen. It's going to be a slant route. It's a little bit hard to see. I know it's cut off, but we can see their feet, which is the most important thing right here. With Jacoby Myers right here, he's got him flat-footed, Damari Mathis. He doesn't know what direction that Myers is going to cut, inside or outside. You see Myers eventually cuts inside. And right there, you can see that Mathis has his rear end to Myers. That is a bad position for an in-breaking route to cover. So, right there, he gets that separation, Myers does, and Jimmy puts it right on him. Alex Singleton realizes what's going on, tries to come in and stop it, but it's a great job by Myers, lowering his shoulder and extending to get the touchdown. Another rough rep there from Damari Mathis. Got his hips turned, cannot have that. So that was ultimately the game-winning touchdown right there for the Raiders, and just another example of Damari Mathis just getting absolutely schooled by Jacoby Myers. This is the play that Jacoby Myers got injured on. I debated not showing it, but this is a critical turning point play in the game, so I figured I kind of had to. But I just hope Jacoby Myers is okay because it was a very scary-looking injury. But let's go ahead and talk about what happened here. It's going to be off coverage right here, Jacoby Myers versus Usain Bassey. Myers is going to run a little short motion inside and just going to run a slant route right here. Kareem Jackson's going to be defending on the safety play, on the safety right here, playing the deep field. Myers takes his little motion right there, runs the slant. Jimmy puts it right on him. Now, you can see at this point that Kareem Jackson's getting ready to close in to make this play. He wants to protect that first down line. He doesn't want to let Myers get there. So Kareem Jackson, if we look at it really closely here, he turns and lowers his shoulder, it appears. They called helmet to helmet on this, but if you look at it from this angle, it's bang bang. Referees are never going to see this in real time, but it looks like he's lowering his shoulder right here. And then Jakobi Meyers, it almost looks like he's bracing himself for the hit and almost lowers his helmet a little bit to prepare for it. And it just looks like in real time it's helmet to helmet. And technically it is. It's going to get called as helmet to helmet, but I don't think there was any malicious intent right there. I don't think Kajak meant to lead with his helmet. It was just kind of bang bang again. He was trying to lower his shoulder and levels out Jakobi Meyers. I just hope that he's okay. It ended up being a 15-yard personal foul penalty, and it basically put the Raiders in position to run out the clock. Denver was going to get the ball back after this. Denver was going to have a chance to go downfield and potentially score a game-winning field goal, but this penalty right here is ultimately what ended up basically being one of two big kill shots for the Denver Broncos. That and then this play. So this one we actually have the all 22 angle of. It's going to be the last play of the game right here. We go ahead and roll it. Denver's going to bring 6 guys with pressure, and we still cannot get home. Josh Jacobs picking up the pressure from Alex Singleton. The offensive line is completely sealing the pocket right there. They bring both linebackers, Josie Jewell and Alex Singleton, and we still can't get home. Randy Gregory tries to twist to the inside. That's terrible. Downfield, we're doing a pretty good job in coverage. Jimmy's got nowhere to go, but this pass rush is so bad, and eventually a wide open rushing lane pops open. Jimmy G has proven that he's going to take those when he's got them. Nobody downfield to count for Jimmy Garoppolo. Alex Singleton's the best one there, and he's got his back turned to Garoppolo at this point. So advantage Jimmy G. By the time Alex turns his hips around, it's too late, and Jimmy Garoppolo is already gone. James Lobson draws on the screen right there. Then Jimmy Garoppolo, he's just going to do a great job. Singleton misses the tackle. Jimmy slides. Denver burns their final timeout, but it's too late. The Raiders are able to just take 3 knees and run out the clock. So the Denver Broncos, besides obviously the 4-point swing from Will Lutz, they lost this game because they got their asses kicked up front in the trenches. Despite bringing constant pressure, they had no ability to get home up front. The Raiders had all the answers in the world for the Denver Broncos pressure. Vance Joseph got out-schemed and out-coached in this one. Hats off to Jimmy Garoppolo. He did a great job of identifying Denver's pressure pre-snap and getting the Raiders into the right look. That's what this offense is designed to do. Try to get them in the right look based on what the defense is doing, and hats off to Jimmy Garoppolo for being able to do that. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of adjustments Vance Joseph makes on this defense next week, but I'm worried that some of this is just personnel. Our top paid edge rusher, Randy Gregory, was non-existent. Zach Allen was virtually non-existent in this one. Linebacker play was really less than inspiring. I mean, it was just a poor performance from the Denver Broncos front 7, and then a poor performance especially from Damari Mathis in the secondary. And that's ultimately what swayed this game if you break it down on tape. All right, Broncos country, how do you guys feel about our defensive performance in this one, and how confident are you in Vance Joseph's ability to make adjustments for next week against the Washington Commanders? Drop those comments down below, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts, as always. Be sure to leave a like on this video, as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. I would really appreciate it, guys. Those are 2 free and easy ways to show your support. It helps tell YouTube's algorithm to push us out and helps us get seen by more and more members of Broncos country just like you and me. And until next time, guys, this has been another episode of Denver Broncos Syndicate. I am your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.